Welcome everyone to a very busy day of racing here on ABN. We kick things off here at the Milwaukee Mile. The HyVee Champ Car 225 kicks off our day. What'll be a doubleheader of racing here on an action-packed Saturday. We have the Champ Car World Series from Night City, the Arasaka 225 later tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Let's start the afternoon with the Challenger Series, a wild race yesterday. Saw Rachel Koivanemi redeem the losses from Colorado 2 weeks ago with a race win and now a 47-point gap atop the IndyCar National Championship standings. The Firestone Champ Car Challenger Series has been close all year long. This is the widest the margin has been. And with it being a doubleheader, Koivanemi has a chance to make that gap even more significant with 6 races to go, today included. The top 5 were the only cars on the lead lap here at the Milwaukee Mile yesterday. They got inverted. That means Kira Moore earned pole position over Sonia Walker, Arashi Seto, and Yumina Mizuno in row 2. They gave Team Sakura its first double podium yesterday. Rachel Koivanemi starts alongside Felicia Zappa. Zappa now sitting in third, having to do everything that she can to keep touch and keep pace with the 61 car starting to her inside in row 3 this afternoon. Karina Sakurachi qualified well, did a decent job of minimizing losses, will start 7th, finished 7th yesterday, so it's a good possibility for even more good results here today for the Verizon Team Impulse driver. Sakurachi alongside Maria D'Amata in that 4th row. Sora Hoshino and Bianca Lucero make up row number 5. Hoshino, the 3rd Team Sakura car, alongside Bianca Lucero. Team Sakura overall had a really good day yesterday, all things considered. Isabel Espinoza in 11th on the inside of row 6. Now 47 points behind. Rachel Koivanemi here will start a few years behind as well, alongside Luisa Flores. Karina Amara alongside Natalia Kurachenko. They make up row number 7. Then you have Nara Takarasi alongside Seth Smith Jr. Katrina Ochoa and Yuya Ishii make up row 9. Maria Chavez and Jace Clark make up row 10. Maria Chavez, a bad day yesterday, needs to be made up for here today. Still top 5 in points. That is critical right now. But you definitely don't want to have to sit and rest on being that 5th place car. Valerie Fang, Roberto Crown Jr., they sit in row number 11. Then it's Rika Venäläinen and Jake Carter in row 12. Now you start to see some of the DNS from yesterday as well. It was a very chaotic race for those that weren't here to be with us on Friday afternoon. Welcome to the show here on Saturday. Keisha Fox, Espacio Megalos, they're in row number 13. Row 14 is Isabel Lantra and Rex Riley. Mia Vitsut, Katerina Malinkovic, they're in row 15. That's your top 30. Asada Quito, Del Blanco, and Amity Polstrix make up your final 3 cars in this 33-car field, with Polstrix only completing a partial lap. Started the race officially, so scored 5 points, but an engine failure will leave Polstrix with a grid penalty going next time into the doubleheader in Kansas. So points have been the talk of the conversation, and as it should be with 6 races left to go, including the doubleheader in 2 weeks in Kansas. Time is running out for a lot of the drivers here. If you're going to try to make a break for that top 5 in the championship standings and try to put yourself with an opportunity to earn promotion. It was announced today, this morning, the highest placed team in the Challenger Series will be able to add a car to the Champ Car World Series next year to bring the World Series grid to 27 cars. A new wrinkle to the fold here for a lot of the teams to now consider, with the Gia, with the Arrowhead, with all the other teams in the mix. We're one step closer to figuring out some details. Let's hit a trackside.
Drivers, start your engines!
So now the team championship battle is going to be very important. Right now, it's in the hands of a Scuderia Agia. But anything can change here in Champ Car. We're going to find that out pretty dramatically. 33 cars here at the Milwaukee Mile for a Saturday of racing. It's Moore and Walker, front of the field. Points leader Koivu starting 5th. The pace truck is in. The HyVee Champ Car 245 is underway. We're racing in Wisconsin. A lot of passing yesterday on those red wall tires. We had the primaries on today. Looking at 94 to 97 laps on a tire stint on these primaries. Not nearly as quick, and you're seeing some of that in effect right now. Moore out in front, still side by side, lockstep. Just as far back as the second row. A little bit of contact there between Koivu and Sakurauchi. Sakurauchi very brave and bold in the opening stanza of the race yesterday, and it sort of paid off. However, still finding the grip in these primary tires as Mizuno gets clear, and Sakurauchi will stay ultimately where she started this race. That was in 7th. Trying to shoot the gap here to get underneath the 23 car, and it looks like will not be as effective as it was yesterday. Sonia Walker making quick work to chase down Kira Moore as Koivu looks to try to get into the podium positions early here, battling with Arashi Seto. Side by side behind Felicia Zappa. That's Lucero and Nera Takarasi, the 57. There's Isabella Espinosa just outside the top 10 and 12th, and there's all 3 of the Agia cars actually. That's the 27, the red and white DoorDash car of Ochoa, and the 29, center of your screen, that is Chavez. Further back, the inside lane is working really well, in comparison to the outside lane being led by the 88 of Lucero. Almost 3 wide there, a little bit of overlap there. Maria Damata trying to find a way forward as well from 15th. Keisha Fox in 16th there, just ahead of Valerie Fang. Teammates side by side. That is Lantra alongside Valerie Fang. Then you have Luisa Floros, there's Kurachenko and Vitsut battling side by side. Rika Venäläinen, 2-time race winner this season, sitting at 24th. The field overall way more composed than it was yesterday. We had a caution at this point already in that race yesterday afternoon. 8 laps in, we are flying here in Milwaukee, and it is Kira Moore out in front with the cleanest air of them all. Over Sonia Walker and Arashi Seto. Again, your points leader in 4th. Now beginning to feel the pressure of Yumina Mizuno. Sakurauchi in the 6th spot at the moment. Over for the back, the battle for the 8th position fizzling out in favor of the Greek driver, Karina Amara. Takarasi in the top 10 ahead of Lucero as the teammates continue to duke it out. Right now, Ochoa's got the advantage track position-wise. That is the battle for 12th. Ochoa slots in right in front of her teammate there, Maria Chavez. As Keisha Fox and Maria Damata duke it out a little bit. Espinoza struggling mightily right now on the Blackwall primary tires. We've explained the differences quite a lot throughout the season. The Blackwall tires produce a lot less grip, but they're a lot more durable. And if a track is old and as dated as the Milwaukee Mile, it is a double distance on the tire stint, you should say, compared to the red wall tire. Espinosa beginning to find footing once again. Now watching as Damata battles with Lantra. Teammates still duking it out here. Here comes Chavez, shooting it down the inside. And side by side, the Aguila teammates will go. And that was Chavez across the line that took 12th. And Ochoa ultimately will lose that fight a little bit. So Ochoa up down to 13th. Here goes Zappa really far to the outside. Really struggling to find the grip in these primary tires as they had with the alternates, the Redwall tires yesterday. They did not practice with this tire compound. They practiced on the alternates. So everyone having to make an adjustment on the fly based off of how they feel right now. There was no warm-up this morning either. It is genuinely a fly by the seat of your pants type moment right now in this opening salvo for the HyVee Champ Car 225. And you see Koivunieme's dropped back a little bit after being dispatched by Mizuno. Now trying to make amends back forward, battling with Amara. Rashizetto does not have the pace for either of these two right now up at the front. Moore and Walker heel to toe. Ahead of Seto by about 2 seconds is the gap right now. So Seto just not having the pace right now. But Team Sakura has all three cars in the top 6 right now. The 09, the furthest back, Hoshino in 6th. Amara 7th there. Koivunieme still in 8th. Lucero up to 9th. Maria Chavez has broken into the top 10. Hasn't gotten around Koivunieme. Not Koivunieme, gotten around Takarasi and Ochoa. Trying to get around Koivunieme there. Koivunieme just up the road a little bit by about 2 cars, it looks like. Yeah, 2 cars, 8th and 10th. Alicia Zappa, 3rd place in points coming in. Sitting right now with the 11th position. Still not where she wants to be. Ochoa 12th. Keisha Fox up to 13th. And Sakurauchi applies the pressure to Mizuno here. At times falling away pretty quickly here. Fast lap set by Moore, 23.1. They're already down to 23.3s at this point. Sakurauchi getting really close. Got really close with Koivunieme. Really close there with Mizuno. A really good drive to the inside of that 23 car and forced the 23 car really wide off into the marbles. And the Watkins Glen race winner, once again, showing her ability on these flat ovals as well. Obviously, a dirt track start. Now used to having a whole bunch of downforce and a whole bunch of grip. You see these cars stepping around and sliding around. That will not the case here. Side-by-side teammates go behind Sakurauchi. As Hoshino tries breaking into the top 5, as Amara tries to defend 7th place from Koivunieme. Here comes Lucero, looking at the inside of the 61. In the turn 1. Nothing going there. It seems like Lucero beginning to find the grip levels in that 88 car to charge forward, and that's exactly what happens there in 3 and 4. Chavez couldn't follow though. Chavez stays in the 10th spot. Chavez will lunge again. Koivunieme straddling the very limit of the grip in the corners there, but it's working out so far. Koivu defends really well, gets clear of Chavez there, and holds on to the 9th spot ultimately, which was primary goal. Kira Moore, though, beginning to break away from Walker here. This is about a second gap from first to second place. And it's all the way down, almost 5 seconds, the gap now between Moore and Seto. So Kira Moore is on a rocket ship at the moment. And I guess it kind of explains where Kira Moore was yesterday. Kira Moore had a damaged race car and still finished only on the lead lap, but in the top 5. Was able to hold on there pretty well. Now with the fixed race car and clean air, the 67 is off to the races right now, looking for her first career Champ Car race win. As one of the highest, really the highest rated prospects right now in the Challenger Series. At least going into this season. It's not quite fallen that way for Moore, but the potential is definitely still there, and you're seeing glimpses of it right now as she walks away from this group in your screen, and has now a 5-second gap over this group. I would have to imagine that the 12 of Sakurauchi for Verizon Team Impulse might have a word to say about that if she can get clear from Seto. Would not be surprising in the slightest if that was the case. Car a lap down. Aspasia Megalos, who I believe is in pit lane, and in fact is in pit lane, I believe leaving pit lane now. So Megalos had to come down pit lane early. Not a scheduled stop at all. Again, the pit window expected to be closer to lap 96 here today. And now 2 laps down for Megalos there. So really bad turn of events there for the 66. And here comes Sakurauchi, really trying to find a way around the 52, and not going to wait much longer. There goes Sakurauchi. The 12 car makes a break for it, and it pays off. The Team Impulse driver goes up to 3rd, and now has some clean real estate, only to deal with the lap car of Megalos, who is still quite a ways up the road. So Sakurauchi up to 3rd. We'll try now to reel in Walker and Moore. Sakurauchi won Watkins Glen on fuel strategy. Now has to try to reel this one in on pace. Team Sakura teammates side by side. Contact between Hoshino and Lucero, as Lucero tries to find a way forward in towards the top 5. This is for 6th, and Lucero will pass and clear for 6th. Once Team Sakura car down, 2 more to go. And Sakurauchi predictably has checked out. 23.448 last lap, but it's still a 10th shy of Moore and Walker. 23.3 that time. Matching Moore, faster than Walker. Hoshino trying to keep up now as well, now being behind Sakurauchi, trying to use some slipstream. Hoshino now beginning to skid backwards. Got passed by Lucero, got passed by Amara, and now under threat from the points leader. Holds off Koivu for right now, but 3 of the championship contenders right now in the same blanket of space. Chavez falling backwards, now under threat from her teammate, as Zappa tries to stay in line. But here comes Keisha Fox, the 2nd Arrowhead car, teammates of Koivu to lock in and get in line. And now Koivu has, for a moment, a buffer. Ochoa now the on-point Escuderia Aguila car. Felicia Zappa now down in the 12th spot. Chavez in 13th, trying to get back around Zappa here as they all duke it out. Takarasi 14th, Isabel Lantra up to 15th. Lantra started 27th. Espinoza in 16th after starting this race 11th. Not where she wanted to be, but she slid back almost down to 20th place before stopping the bleeding, and now back up to the 16th spot now. Dropped all the way to 19th earlier. Side by side, Chavez and Takarasi. Still driving in deep there, just Takarasi. And working out a wonderful deal so far. This battle still goes on. Chavez still very well in the grip level. You see the darker patch of asphalt there. That is where the cars have run for the most part all weekend long. You want to try to stay in that. Chavez out of it this time. Got her way out in the marbles and really lost touch with Takarasi. Almost lost 2 spots in one go. Side-by-side battle there. And it's going to be Zappa using the outside lane. Use the very edge of the grip to slingshot back around the 27 of Ochoa. Teammates in lockstep here, 9th and 10th, with Clevin, Amy, and Fox. So that's the front of this line, 4th and 5th, Seto and Mizuno. 23.377 for Walker. 23.431 for Moore. Cross the line this time, 23.6 for Sakurachi. So still losing touch, but still a decent buffer, about a second ahead of Arashi Seto here. Seto ran a 23.5, so a little bit quicker here for Seto, but not by much. Sakurachi was smart to get ahead and get some clean air, at least cleaner air here. A second on track is worth basically about 2 on pit lane. Megalo is the only car not on the lead lap, 2 laps down right now after having to make an unscheduled pit stop earlier in this race before lap 25. Last place car on the lap is 32nd Katerina Milinkovic in the 30 car. Rika Venalainen not able to really improv on this one. Sitting 31st right now. First time racing in Milwaukee, and it is a very difficult track to master. Del Blanco in 30th, Ishii in 29th. Seth Smith Jr. in 28th. Amity Polstrix 27th. Teammates there 26 and 27th. That's Rex Riley from Fortune Racing as well. They're just behind Jake Carter, who has had a really big fall from grace this year. Valerie Fang in 24th, just behind Roberto Crown Jr. Natalia Kurachenko in 22nd. Asada Quito, the second Team Impulse car, in 21st. And you see this battle for 19th. It's in favor of Jace Clark, with Luisa Floros now the gatekeeper to the top 20. D'Amata's dropped down all the way to 18th, having been passed by Espinoza, but Espinoza's also now been passed by Vitsu. Meanwhile, further afield here, Keisha Fox has gotten around Clevin Amy. Keisha Fox thinks that she's got a better chance right now of chipping away at those in front than the points leader, and for a rare instance, this might be actually correct. Keisha Fox in traffic is faster than Moore. Kira Moore, our race leader, ran a 23.45. Keisha Fox in traffic, 23.3. So Keisha Fox, who has experience here at Milwaukee, not in much of an open wheel capacity in terms of a champ car, but has raced here in the modified tour. For those not super familiar with Keisha Fox, obviously we've not had a chance to talk about her too often much throughout the season. Keisha Fox started out in the stock car program. Obviously moving to the Cup Series next year. Started out in the stock car realm. Started out raced in late models, moved to the modifieds before ultimately making the full switch to actual single-seater open-wheel cars. And that's where Fox sort of rose to the ranks to get up to the World Series. Now racing in the Challenger Series here, helping Arrowhead Racing try to go for its first team championship. They're now sitting in second behind that of Escuderia Aguila. But it needs both cars to be strong at this point of the season, and right now that is the case. Sakurachi there in third, 22.6, still slower, now slower than Fox as well, who needs to kind of be kept an eye on here, but still slower than Walker and Kira Moore. Kira Moore still sitting steady in the 23.4's range at this point. Sonia Walker 23.500 that last time around. Sakurachi 23.424. So Sakurachi this time was the fastest of the top three. Again, keep an eye on Fox, who has a very quick number 62 Toyota underneath her at the moment. But now logjam here. This is the traditional Milwaukee races that we're used to seeing, especially back in yesteryear. So as right now, here comes Lucero battling with Mizuno. Going to be way harder. Teammates are not going to work against each other here. But Lucero's got to chip away at it still. Almost got a bit of a taste of her own medicine there. Almost got passed on the outside by Hoshino. Now Hoshino's going to over-under down the front straightaway to get to turn one. And here comes the 62 of Keisha Fox, now moving to the outside lane. Using a little bit of her experience here at the Milwaukee Mile to find not only some clean air for the front of that nose, for the front wing of that car, but how to really still establish the passing lanes here and really turn what normally is a one-lane track into a multi-lane track. This is not a very bait track at all. We talk about flat ovals. This is one of the flattest we come to as far as ovals are concerned. Koivanemi left out for dust right now by Felicia Zappa. And Koivanemi's not going to be able to fight that one at all. Way up the racetrack, still in 3 and 4. Will only lose one spot though. Takarasi not close enough, and now has her hands full with Ochoa, looking for that 12th spot. We are completing lap 60 here in Milwaukee. Kira Moore has led every single lap so far. And actually, yeah, there you go. There's Kira Moore right now. Kira Moore's already went ahead and put Ishii and Milinkovic a lap down. Now looking at putting Venäläinen a lap down too. This is Moore's first real test, first real big roadblock in this race, but it's a roadblock that everyone at the front's gonna have to deal with at some point. Seto stays fourth, ahead of Mizuno, ahead of Lucero. Hoshino in 7th. Keisha Fox stays 8th, having gotten around Amara before. Zappa under threat for the 10th spot by Koivuniemen. Ochoa in 12th. Isabel Lantra up to the 13th now from 27th on the grid. Maria Chavez in 14th from 19th position. And Takarasi falling backwards, battling for 15th place with Mia Vitsu. Takarasi started this race in 15th. Vitsu started in 29th. Espinoza in 17th after starting this race in the 11th spot. Jace Clark in 18th. Started this race in 20th. Luisa Floros currently in the 19th position. Started this race 12th. And Asada Quito in 20th after starting this race in 31st. And Maria D'Amata there in 21st. Roberto Crown Jr. battling with Valerie Fang for 22nd. Natalia Kurachenko watching on from 24th. Then you have Jake Carter and Rex Riley, 25th and 26th. Battle for 27th between Seth Smith Jr. and Amity Pulsatrix. Dale Blanco in 29th. Now the last car on the lead lap. Here's Sonia Walker going through all that lap traffic right now. So Kira Moore on a absolute warpath right now as we complete lap 67 of the HyVee Champ Car 225 here in Milwaukee. And this is where it's critical because you still have quite a little bit of time, almost 30 laps, before you get to that first pit window. This is a race that should very easily be a two-stop race. The lap cars working right now. Here comes Keisha Fox duking it out with Mizuno. The reason why Hoshino dropped 2 spots, dropped to Fox, dropped to Amara, trying to stay ahead of Felicia Zappa now at the point of attack. And just trying to stay in the top 10 right now. But beginning to fall away is that 09 car. See if we can zoom out just a little bit here at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds and see these cars roar around the racetrack. This gives you an idea of just how quickly these cars are moving around the racetrack at 23.8. Some of the slowest times we've seen all weekend. They are rapid here. And you're seeing just up the road, that is Bianca Lucero getting around Horaci Seto for the 4th spot. So the floodgates that are Team Sakura right now beginning to open. Seto trying to stay ahead of Keisha Fox here and stay in the top 5. Walker's gotten clear of all the lap traffic that was ahead of her. And you're seeing the caution has come out. Why has the caution come out here? Oh, it's for Asada Quito. I think that is a car that has come to a stop early on in this race. What has happened to Quito? And yeah, 100%, that is a car that has lost power. Same thing that happened to Quito yesterday. So if this is another engine failure, this would be 2 days in a row, and that makes Kansas next time out in 2 weeks an absolute nightmare, and he cannot make it back to pit lane. So that would be the reason for the caution, the first of the day. being reliability failures, and unfortunately nothing that Keto can do at that point. So that allows the field to come down pit lane safe and sound. Sakurauchi gets out ahead. Sakurauchi takes the lead of the race over Moore, over Walker, over Lucero. Amara, Mizuno, Zappa, and Chavez. This is going to mix up the field a lot. Wow. So lap traffic coming in now, this time through Venalainen, Ishii, Megalos, Milinkovic. Blanco given reprieve. He stays on the lead lap, 28th place. And indeed it is an engine failure for Asada Kito. So he's going to be starting at the back of the field for both races in Kansas next week, or next time out, 2 weeks time. Which is horrendous luck for Asada Kito. For Karina Sakurauchi, though, very good pit stops from the Team Impulse crew to put that 12 car in clean air. Now, this is where it's going to get very interesting, because here we go, and that's exactly what I was worried about. Now, thankfully, it looks like they didn't pass until after they got into turn 1. Oh no, I think Kira Moore still got a penalty for that. Whoa! Huge problem. Cars in the fence. That is Mizuno. That is Lucero. And cars still spinning around. Sonia Walker did get around Sakurauchi. It seems like one of the other cars involved in this, it looks like Amara might have also got a penalty being further back in the order. Was it for passing Lucero? I don't know. Yeah, that would have been on Amara, trying to get into the bottom lane, and Mizuno has shot the gap, not realizing that Amara might have had a penalty that they were trying to serve. And then obviously the spin out still there from Seth Smith Jr. and Takarasi. Everyone just trying to find a lane and avoid space there. So trouble early here. Lap traffic comes down and sorts themselves through once again. They were at the very back of the field for this. And I'd have to be mistaken. I don't know if Moore went to lap down in all of that. I think Moore is last car on the lead lap right now, having served that drive-through. Coming in for service. Again, I don't know if Moore served that black flag or not. And here we go, we're gonna try it again. Everyone a little bit slower on the draw there, except for Walker, who immediately went for it. They got away with it last time too. And indeed it worked out. Worked out for everybody that time. So we got to go through it. Mizuno, though, coming back down pit lane after being involved in that caution. Not pleasant there. And Kiro Moore having to serve that penalty still. So Moore did not get away with being able to serve it when the caution came out. Still side by side, Fox, Veetsuit, Walker. And the Captain Upper Racing teammates are right there. After leading 74 laps in this race, Kiro Moore now a lap down. Looks the inside for Walker, trying to get through here. Knowing now that Moore is out of the running for the race win at the moment, this is a good chance, a good gateway to get to the race lead. You just got to get through Keisha Fox to do it. A little bit of pandemonium further back, side by side, Sakurauchi and Koivanemi. Koivanemi trying to use those fresh tires to get to the inside lane and carve a way forward. Mixed degrees of success. But not alone. Valerie Fang in the exact same boat right now. Two cars out of this race, Akasada Kito for an engine failure and Karina Amara due to the accident that we saw just a few laps ago. Everyone else still running. Imana Mizuno, her race is very much down the tubes as things sit. This is 23. 2 laps down. Keisha Fox continues to lead over the Cat Devil Racing duo of Walker and Veetsuit. Hoshino in 4th, Arashi Seto in 5th. Luisa Floros in 6th, Valerie Fang in 7th. And it's Koivanemi sitting in the 8th spot. Sakurauchi in 9th, but Maria Damata in this mix, 3 laps down. So not actually a thought part of the conversation. It's here to create a little chaos. There's Maria Chavez in 11th. Sorry, make that 10th now for Chavez. Around Lantra. Clark in 12th. And Del Blanco in the 13th position, trying to find a way around the 9. Might have a chance in 3 and 4 here. There's Leisha Zappa and Katrina Ochoa. And Rex Riley battling with Isabel Espinoza. Roberto Crown Jr. also in the mix. There's Takarasi and Pulsatrix. Jake Carter ahead of Bianca Lucero. And some of the cars that are further back here that were wounded, a part of that initial first caution. Seth Smith Jr. and Imana Mizuno, 2 of those drivers. Seth Smith Jr. currently the last car on the lead lap. Rika Venalainen, the first car a lap down. Sonia Walker now all focus on trying to find a way around the 62 of Fox. Fox has now led 16 laps in this race. Sonia Walker has only led 1. 2 laps led goes to Karina Sakurauchi. 74 goes to Kiro Moore so far in this race. Just like that, Sonia Walker gets to the point here in Milwaukee. Still a really good job by Vitsu. Kind of out of water at the moment, the 35 car is. But sitting ahead of Hoshino and Arasi Seto there to try to stay in the podium conversation. Still an easy two-stop race. That second pit stop just moved about 20 laps sooner than people had initially thought it would be. Overall, though, not terribly bad, and it doesn't really upset the expectation as far as the strategy goes for this race. Keep an eye a little further behind in 6th place. That was Rachel Koivanami. Koivanami in the 6th spot, catching up to the top 5. Karina Sakurashi in 7th, ahead of Valerie Fang. Then you have Maria Chavez and Luisa Flores right now in the top 10. Over Isabel Lantra and Del Blanco. To both drivers, they'll be in the Cup Series next year. 2021 Cup Series champion versus what will be a Cup Series rookie versus Keisha Fox there. Vitsu looking a little bit stronger right now than Fox. Got to peek to the inside. I think Fox strong enough to hold off right now, but the pressure is on. Vitsu beginning to feel it a little bit more, having been around her teammate a little bit more in this race. Feeling a little bit stronger now. We've crossed 100 laps in this race and rapidly approaching halfway. Fox doing a really good job defending from V-Suit right now. V-Suit in 3rd, Hoshino in 4th. Seto under pressure once again from Koivanami. And Sakurashi not too far away. For the top 10 separating themselves from the rest of the group. That is Flores in 10th. Separated by Maria D'Amata from Isabel Lantra, the first one outside the top 10 looking in. This got to be heartbreaking for Kira Moore, having led 74 laps early, a penalty. Throwing it all away. Top 4 still battling it out here right now. These 4 in their own little group. Fox led 17 laps. Walker's now led 12, coming to lead lap 13. Still a far cry from the 74 that was led by Moore, but a lot of laps left to go in this race. Again, V-Suit and Hoshino, for that matter, just kind of pushing and prodding to see what they can get out of this with this battle with Keisha Fox at the moment. Both of them trying to get around Vitsu went a little deep there in turns 1 and 2. Gets away with it, looks to the outside. I think Fox knows better than to give up the inside lane to someone like Vitsu, and now Vitsu in trouble. Really wide up the racetrack, and Hoshino is going to make some pretty good hay of that. Trying to pry third away. And will do so. For some reason, the Team Sakura cars have just really been well here across the board. Mizuno's not going to be able to reflect that here in this race, having the damage that she's got. But Hoshino and Seto 100% are able to right now, and are doing so, 3rd and 5th. And now it's on Vitsu to respond, and it's on Seto to try to keep Koivanemi at bay, to allow the team to try to enjoy more of that success they had yesterday. Obviously, all of that is a lot easier said than done. These are the drivers that can turn plan into action. But you can see that the pace just isn't there as those 4 battle it out. They've lost touch with not only Walker, but with Keisha Fox as well. Here comes Seto. This is what Team Sakura is trying to aim for here. Try to get both cars together again. They were really hard to beat and get around when you had those cars together, and that's exactly what you've got now. Hoshino and Mizuno. Sorry, Hoshino and Seto. Mizuno still running, but not in this group. Now, it's all pressure on Vitsu to try to hold off the 61 of Koivanemi and the 12 of Sakurauchi. See just a little bit further down the order, beginning to lose touch with 10th place is Lantra and Blanco. Car leaving pit lane. That is, oh wow, that's Kira Moore. So on top of the penalty, now an unplanned pit stop for the 67 has thrown that car from being a lap down to now being, I believe, we're clocking 4 laps down for the 67. And look at Mizuno still going. Obviously not only 2 laps down at the moment, but still passing some of the lead lap cars here. That's Jake Carter being passed. Mizuno's on something right now. We'll talk about a team that's not on it at all right now. Striker Motorsports really struggling. Milinkovic a lap down in 26. Kurichenko, last car on the lead lap, in 24th. So not a great time for either of those cars right at the moment. Sonia Walker, though, flying by 4/10 ahead of Keisha Fox. And then Team Sakura holding up the floodgates here. 1.5 seconds adrift of the lead, being led by the 09 Hoshino. As we've crossed the halfway point, we're now in the second half of this race. Hoshino right now just trying to crawl back forward, make up for the time that was lost earlier. There's a lot of time lost earlier, for that matter. Not a pleasant time period for Team Sakura in that regard. Car coming down pit lane. That was Sonia Walker. That's a really... that's still an early pit stop. Because they can't go 100 laps here. That was Walker that came down pit lane and handed the lead over the Fox. That's very interesting. And Fox coming in too, and so is Hoshino and a list of others. This is very bizarre. I would have to question pretty heavily what the methodology behind this is. Seto still running right now in the lead of the race, as is Koivanemi in second, Maria Chavez in third, Karina Sakurauchi in fourth. The understanding is that the pit window doesn't open for another 5 laps. I would have to wonder if something has changed over the course of this race that would make people second guess that. Again, this is an older surface. You see the patchwork that's been done on this racing surface over the years. The Wisconsin winters have not been kind to the asphalt. They never are. There are some that are staying out. Like, there's a decent chunk that have stayed out here. This isn't like everyone coming in early and just kind of throwing the giant curveball here. There's a lot of cars that are still out and about on the racetrack. We're still looking at 19 cars on lead lap. So overall, just a list of about 5 or 6 cars came down pit lane that time. But very interesting. I wonder, and I don't think it's the cars that came down and took fuel only. Because Sakurauchi was a driver that initially took fuel only on that first stop. Came down the second caution to grab tires, but on that first caution initially had grab fuel only. So there was confidence in the tires at that point. Reverse course, more cars in pit lane now. That is Del Blanco, the 56. Blanco was, keyword was on lead lap there, drops out top 10, drops from 9th. And Seto comes in, new leader, Koivanemi, and they have reached the window. This is legitimately the window to get to the end of the race. They've reached the window. The fact that they're pitting now though, after most of them pit on lap 85, is very peculiar to me. But we're gonna find out more. We're gonna find out a lot more over these next 95 laps, 94 laps now. A lot of cars still out, 17 still out to be precise. And that's 16 with Seto coming down pit lane. Here comes Chavez. But Chavez, one of the few. Crown also comes down after briefly being in the top 10. This is all so bizarre, the way this is all playing out. The understanding is that Koivanemi would not be too much further behind. Top 2 right now in this race, Koivanemi and Sakurauchi. Unless the idea, and here comes Koivanemi down pit lane. Unless your idea is try to grab a lot of speed with the new tires and try to use an undercut strategy and try to save fuel, I don't see how those that hit before lap 130 are going to make it to the end of the race. The numbers are not adding up the way we were expecting them to. Sakurauchi, now the race leader once again. More and more cars beginning to come down pit lane now that they're in the window to make it to the end of the race from here. I believe the Sakurauchi is coming in this time, and indeed, Sakurauchi is coming in this time. So now it's in the hands of Luisa Floros, who is the race leader now. So we have populated the list of race leaders so far today. Still a pretty dramatic list. Floros, and I believe Jace Clark was the last car that needed to make a pit stop. I don't know if Clark has come in or not. He was 12 seconds adrift. So something in my gut tells me that he did in fact come in, and yeah, he did. He came in. Seto still ahead of Koivanemi. This is all so fascinating to see how this is all playing out. Clark ended up in 12th. Floros has it's quite literally the field a lap down. If a caution were to come out now, it would be disastrous for everyone but the 75. Floros came down pit lane once, and that was on lap 85. Or around that, that was like around lap 85. So Floros feeling pretty good right now. The entire field has been lapped. Now, Floros is running slower. Realistically, it makes sense. 23.8 versus 23.4. Not the worst case scenario if you are Floros. Stay out while you've got the heavy hands. You've got the favorite hand right now, which is the field's a lap down. They've got to get through you to do it, to get back on the lap here. And we've seen how much harder the passing has been today compared to how it was yesterday. I like the strategy call. If you're face Poria, leave your 75 car out there and try to grab something. So your race leader on an island right now, Luisa Floros, has a pit stop coming up here later in this race. But right now, enjoying time as the only car on the island of lead lap cars. Here comes Floros. But Floros, this will definitely be a last pit stop for Floros, and that should give the race lead back to Sonia Walker next time by. Sonia Walker now in the lead of the race. So Walker in the lead of this race right now. Sora Hoshino up in second place, ahead of Valerie Fang in third, Karina Sakurauchi in fourth, as we sort of recalibrate where everyone's at in the field. Approaching 75 laps to go. Sakurauchi in fourth, Mia Vitsut up in the top five still, alongside with Keisha Fox just outside the top five in sixth. But a three-car battle for that fourth spot is how things are developing right now, with 75 laps to go. Arashi Seto in seventh. Remember, those are some of the first cars that came in too. Bijukwe Vanemi in eighth. Stayed out a little bit longer. Stayed out longer than Sakurauchi, but didn't have as good of a pit stop. So in eighth place at the moment. Del Blanco in ninth. So this is a battle for that position, currently being held by Koi Vanemi. Lucero obviously a lap down still. 2 laps down, excuse me. So is Espacio Megalos. Maria Chavez earmarks the top 10. Then you have Isabel Lantra in 11th place. You have Jace Clark in 12th. Katrina Ochoa in 13th. Roberta Crown Jr. just up the road here in 14th place. Luisa Floros ended up cycling out into 15th place, still on the lead lap. And then you have a giant gaggle of cars here. There's the lap car of Ishii. That's Isabel Espinoza in 16th place, Nara Takarasi in 17th, Rex Riley in 18th, but it is again a gaggle of cars battling for that 16th spot. Felicia Zappa in the 19th position over Jake Carter in 20th, Amity Polstrix in 21st, and Natalia Kurachenko about to go a lap down after being damaged on lap 74. Kurachenko staying ahead of Sonia Walker. Car in pit lane, Ishii, who was up to the first car lap down in the 24th spot. Sorry, in the 22nd spot, excuse me. Now it's still in the hands of Sonia Walker. Katerina Milinkovic now in 24th place here. But intriguingly, at the moment, as it stands, Sonia Walker's got about a 3-second gap. It's 2.7 seconds between Walker and Hoshino, all the way back at second place. And here's this battle for third. Barry Fang being left out to dry here. 35 of Vitsut trying to square away and take that podium spot and run with it. Very game Sakurauchi, a very game Keisha Fox. And here comes that's Sakurachi in pit lane again. Oh, that's bad news for Sakurachi. Very bad news for Karina Sakurachi. That does give Beatsuit a really good claim on third place. That is really bad news for Verizon Team Impulse, who had a car in the podium positions. Beats it in third, now being pressured once again by Valerie Fang. Fox not clear of Vinolainen as well. Look at this battle here. Lab traffic in the way for both Seto and Koivanemi. Koivanemi, their points leader at the moment, set to stay that way. Sitting right now in the 7th spot, gaining on everyone that's really in reasonable distance of the championship conversation right now. Maria Chavez in 8th would minimize the loss today after losing a lot yesterday. Isabella Espinosa down in 14th, Felicia Zappa in 17th. We thought the championship was going to be tightened up after what we saw in Colorado. The championship came down to 13 points following that race. The championship gap will almost be at a full race gap, leaving here with 5 races to go. Not impossible to claw it back, but now you've got to start outscoring Koivanemi by 10 points a race. And that is a very tough draw to have to do. Again, Koivanemi just has to sit and do what she's done for most of the season, and that is be consistent. Front of the field, though, a little bit closer to the front. Mia Vitsut still battling to stay ahead here, and that's Sonia Walker in pit lane. Are they not able to make it on field to the end of the race? And are they short pitting here? That has to be a realistic possibility. That's Hoshino in pit lane 2. Oh my goodness. What are we looking at right now? Mia Vitsut is leading this race. Wow. We thought they were good. We thought they were good, especially those that pit after lap 130. We thought they were good. They were nowhere close. Nowhere close. I am flabbergasted. Absolutely flabbergasted. So Vitsut continues to lead by about a second over Keisha Fox. They're still out at the moment. Rashi Seto in third, Koivanami in fourth still. Isabel Lantra up to fifth. Car coming down pit lane, maybe? No. It's just wild to me that that's where we're at right now, where we're still looking at pit stops here before this race is over. We thought this was pretty well cut and dry, and indeed it is not. Vitsut still leads the way. And the laps, they are ticking. 30 laps to go here in Milwaukee. It's still Mia Vitsu leading the way. And this is very interesting to see how this all plays out. Remember, Luisa Flores was the last one that came down pit lane. Could that be the big time deal? That could seal the race win in Flores' favor. We're going to find out. Whoa, that's a car that was struggling to get out of pit lane. It was Chase Clark. And it held up Sakurauchi. Vitsu putting in some more laps led here. Most laps led still in the hands of Kira Moore with 74. Walker led 54. Right now, Vitsu's working in lap 16. Keisha Fox has led 19 laps. Luisa Flores led 10. Koivanemi's led 4. 6 laps led for Seto. 1 lap led for Hoshino. 4 laps led for Sakurauchi. So a decent amount of lap leaders in this race, just looking at the names on that list. Fastest lap right now does belong to your race leader, Mia Vitsu, a 23.026. For those looking for the miles an hour, the average lap speed was 156.430. So Vitsu has been carrying out the pace pretty well. Said we were at 3 laps to go before. We're approaching 3 laps to go now. I was miscounting. We were just past 40 to go. It'll be 30 to go once we hit lap 196, which we are 3 laps away from. So, 33 laps to go. And Vitsu just really sort of waltzed away from Fox in this later stanza of the race. Now Fox still sitting comfortably in the 2nd spot. So that's not terribly, you know, out of control. Rachel Koivanemi up to 3rd. And then Luisa Flores in 4th. Someone to keep an eye out for, that 4th place car, who is not really close. Flores, when Flores came out of pit lane following that last pit stop, Flores was in 15th, so there's a lot of cycling that's had to happen here. Vitsu calm and composed at the front, just kind of hitting her marks, seeing where things fall. And Fox getting through lap traffic to try to close the gap just a little bit more. Getting around the Streca Motorsports cars and leaving them behind. It is Vitsu, Fox, and Koivanemi top 3. Coming to 29 laps to go. Now clear of the lap traffic. Let's see what Fox can do. Vitsu still, I would say, under pressure from Maria D'Amata there. D'Amata's been shadowing the 35 most of these last 5-10 minutes. And if D'Amata decides to try to get racy, it could be a problem. Again, only 2 retirements in this race, a very big far cry from what we saw yesterday when we saw 17. And this is Vitsu coming down pit lane. So this will leave Koivanemi now out in front of the field. More laps led for the points leader. But it seems like those that were at the front will need to come down still. Approaching 25 laps to go. coming to 26 laps to go at the line. Koivuniemen at the point. It is Koivuniemen, then Floros, then Chavez, your top three. Five laps to go now, coming to 24 to go. And you do have to ask that question, is Koivuniemen and Floros in the positions that they need to be in to get to the end of this race? It's a very critical question to ask. 9 cars on the lead lap. Koivuniemen, Floros, Chavez, Crown, Ochoa, Espinoza, Takarasi, Zappa, Pulsatrix. Very intriguingly, all 3 of the Aguila cars are on the lead lap right now, running a very similar strategy. A lot of the cars passing your race leader right now are lapped multiple times. And Koivuniemen knows they are not a main attraction here. Case in point, that 12 car, a Sakurauchi, right now is 3 laps down. Sakurauchi now 2 laps down, and Koivuniemen again not fighting. She knows where her fight is, and it's with the fuel mileage, not with necessarily the cars on track. Running wide like that will not help the fuel mileage, but it does get her away from the cars that are battling. Coming to 20 laps to go here in Milwaukee for the HyVee Champ Car 225. Koivuniemen won race 1 yesterday. It was survival the fastest yesterday. Now we've got fuel strategy in the mix, and it's been a lot less attrition than what we saw yesterday, with only 2 retirements and 31 still running. But I believe Koivuniemen is in this time, and indeed she is. And that now puts the race in the hands of Luisa Floros for Faceporia Racing Team. The Greek team that already has a race win this season. Floros herself has a pole. Faceporia will be looking at its 3rd win this season if Floros can hold on to the end of this race. Spasia Megalos won, so did Karina Amara. Amara won at Charlotte. Megalos won at New Hampshire, another mile-long track similar to Milwaukee. Floros is now head and shoulders in the clear right now, just looking at positions, looking at the timing screen. But we all know that this race is so much more than just a timing screen. It's the minutia of saving fuel, managing your gear shifts, managing the clean air, the dirty air, figuring out when you can lift, when you can coast, when you can clutch. This is listening to your spotter, listening to your engineer, but then also making your own judgments based off of what you're feeling in the car. Cars continue to lead pit lane as pit stops continue to be made. And for Flores, the question has to be asked, is this going to be enough to get to the end of the race? 13 laps to go. Koivu with a pit stop drop down, currently in 10th. It'd be Flores, Walker, Vitsut on the podium as things currently sit. Then it'd be Fox, Fang, Hoshino, Seto, Lantra, Koivu, and Ochoa. That was Milinkovic coming down pit lane for the last time. Milinkovic 1 lap down, will now go more than 1 lap down. Flores has the entire field lapped right now, coming to 10 laps to go. Sitting behind Rex Riley, saving as much fuel as possible at this point. 10 laps to go. Flores had a 10-lap overcut last pit stop. She's on that lap 10 right now. Is it enough right now? We're gonna see. Stays out longer, 9 to go. Nowhere near the fastest car today. Has not needed to be. Very good feeling we're going to get a first-time winner one way or another. It's just who in the top 3 is it going to be? Will it be Flores? Will it be Walker? Could it be Vitsut? Vitsut's not far away. We have to gander all the way back a little bit here. That's Walker in the 36 for the Pepsi car. Vitsut's right there, a couple lap cars away, and time's running out to try to make that battle work. But not that far away. Can Flores hold on not only to win this race, but to win by a lap? I don't think the answer is yes. I think here comes Flores in now. Yep. Could not make it all the way. So now it's back in the hands of Sonia Walker here. Who looks safe to be in control of this race for what will be the final 6 laps. And there's Flores, the top off of fuel, so will not drop all the way down the order. Down to the 15th position like where she was. She's gonna leapfrog and almost stay top 5 here. Keisha Fox in the 5th spot. That's really good stuff right there for Megalos. No, sorry, that Fox comes in. Wow, that's devastating. Flores will stay in 4th. Took a splash and dash to the end. And Fox is at the top 5 to Sora Hoshino. Just browsing and perusing here. This is all very interesting. Crown got around Chavez to get into the top 10. And Walker's came in. And so did Vitsut. That puts the lead in control of Valerie Fang. Oh my goodness. 3 laps to go for Valerie Fang. Leading her first laps today. 2 miles left in Milwaukee for Valerie Fang, a driver who will be a free agent next year. She's got to hold on now for 1 and just a little bit more miles. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go in Milwaukee. My goodness. Valerie Fang is going to finally break through. And what an impressive drive by Floros, who will be second here. Valerie Fang comes across the line to win for the first time. She takes Milwaukee. And not far away, take a bow. Louisa Floros so close to a first race win. A second place will do just nicely. Fantastic strategy call. Does wonders. Arasi Seto once again on the podium. And once again another third. Rachel Koivanemi in fourth. Not only an amazing points haul, but that points lead is now significantly large. Almost 65 points is the gap. As they all come down pit lane to retire the weekend from Milwaukee. It's a first win for Valerie Fang and a completely broken apart gap at the top of the Drivers' Championship standings. Full results look like this, with only 2 retirements. Valerie Fang, Louisa Floros, Arashi Seto, your podium here tonight. Rachel Koivanemi, Isabel Lantra, they round out your top 5. Katrina Ochoa and Roberta Crown Jr., 6th and 7th. Isabel Espinoza rounds out the top 8, ahead of Maria Chavez and Nara Takarasi. Rex Riley and Felicia Zappa, your last cars on the lead lap. They're 11th and 12th. Amity Polstrix, the first car lap down in 13th, ahead of Sonia Walker and Mia Vitsut, who round out your top 15. Natalia Kurechenko, Keisha Fox, Sora Hoshino, Karina Sakurauchi, and Jake Carter are your top 20. Jace Clark, Dale Blanco, Seth Smith Jr., Katerina Malinkovic, and Rika Venalainen are 21st through 25th. Espacio Megalos, Bianca Lucero, Kira Moore, Yuya Ishii, and Maria Damata round out the top 30. Yumina Mizuno, the last finisher of this race in 31st, classified ahead of Karina Amara and Asada Kito. That does us for right now from ABN. We hope you enjoyed the Firestone Champ Car Challenger Series weekend here in Milwaukee. Later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we head over to the West Coast for the Champ Car World Series, the Arasaka 225 from Arasaka Arena in Night City. We hope you join us then as well. On behalf of everyone here for the Champ Car Challenger Series, for Horizon Corporation, and everyone here for ABN at Milwaukee, we'll see you in California. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. See you down the road. So long, everybody.